Hi everybody, in today's tutorial we're going to have a look at an introduction to parameters in Java. Today's scenario is a pirate ship which is making a journey across the ocean. It's going to attack 5 ships and steal gold. At the end of the journey, if the pirates have more than $1,000 worth of gold, they'll have a party. Otherwise, they will attack one more ship and try and get that $1,000. Then they'll have a party, or they'll give up and go home. Okay, so let's have a look at a potential solution to this programming challenge. Alright, first things first, let's make a new Java project. I'm going to call it the Pirate Project. And in my Pirate Project, I'm going to jump into my source folder and create a new driver class to drive the program. I'm just going to call it main, and this will be where my main function is located. Now let's do a little bit of thinking ahead. When you're planning a solution to a programming problem, get used to thinking ahead. Don't just rush to code. So what I'm going to do first is call a function to start the journey. And it's just going to be literally this. I'm going to call a function called start journey. And let's start to design that function. Whoops. Now then, when we start a journey, we know that we have no gold. So let's create a variable to store the total gold that we managed to steal. Notice that I'm creating a variable inside the start journey function. This is a local variable, and the only function that can see this variable is the start journey function. And this is what my variable is going to look like. And I'm going to assign it a value of 0 at the start of the journey. So this variable total gold is a local variable inside the start journey function. What we're going to do then, now that we've started the journey, is attack 5 ships. We're going to steal a random amount of gold. At the end of the attacks, if the total gold is greater than, let's say less than 1,000, we're going to attack one more ship. Else, we're going to have a party. Okay? Notice again that I am just thinking ahead before I start coding. I'm mapping out the steps towards the solution. Okay? So how do we attack 5 ships? Well, we're going to do something 5 times. So let's use a for loop. What we're going to do 5 times is steal a random amount of gold. Oh, we need to also add it to our total. Okay? So let's use a random number generator to generate a random amount of gold for each attack. So I'm going to create a new variable called gold, and I'm going to use Java's math.random number generator. And let's create a random number in the range 0 to 500. In fact, this will generate a random number in the range 0 to 499. So if I want it to be 500, that is what I have to do. Then let's add it to the total. So our total gold, this local variable, was still inside the start journey function. The new value of total gold will be equal to the current value of total gold plus the random number that we just generated. Okay, so this line of code will update total gold with a new value. Okay? So that's the code to attack the 5 ships. Now then, after we've attacked the 5 ships, we're going to look at the total gold. If total gold is less than 1,000, we're going to attack one more ship. So I'm going to turn that into a function. Else, we're going to have a party. And I'm going to make a function to do that as well. Okay, so let's just get rid of these comments. Oh, I'm going to keep them actually because they are useful. Okay, now when we attack one more ship, I want to update the total gold with another random number, just one more random number. The problem is my attack one more ship function cannot see the total gold value. Okay, to prove that to you, so that's the end of the start journey function. Let's now design our attack one more ship function. So this is the attack one more ship function. What I want to do is generate some more gold, and I'm going to assign it a random number in the range 0 to 500. And I'm going to add that random number to total gold, like we did before. Now the problem here is that total gold cannot be resolved to a variable. This function, attack one more ship, has no idea what this variable is. This variable is local to another function. So if start journey wants to call this function and allow the function to process this data, we're going to pass the data to the function as a parameter. Okay? So we're giving this function some data. When we call this function wakes up, says, okay, I'm needed, I need to do some stuff, and it sees some data coming. It doesn't see the name total gold. It sees a value, for example, 700. It only sees the value. So when it sees the value, it needs to grab it and give it a name. Now we could give it any name. It could be X. Okay, so let's now use that to update that value with more gold. All of my errors have disappeared. This function, attack one more ship, saw the value coming. We gave it the value here. It saw it coming. It said, okay, I'm going to call you X. I'm going to generate my own number, and I'm going to add my number to the total gold that came. Now, X isn't a very useful variable name. I'm going to change that to amount. Even that's maybe not the most useful variable name. Now, if the amount, our new amount, we've just added everything up, is greater than 1,000, we're going to have a party, like we did before. Now, I haven't designed that function yet, but we'll do that in a moment. else we're going to go home. Now, when we go home, we're going to show everyone at home the amount of gold that we're taking home. So, you've guessed it, I'm going to send this data into this function. Okay, I'm passing it on to another function. Now let's create a couple of these outstanding functions. We'll do the have party function. Very basic function, have party. All it does is 1,000 times the pirates sing yo ho ho. Okay, that's all that the have party function does. That's finished. Notice that in my program, we call that function 2 times. Okay, very useful function. And now I need to code the go home function. Now notice this go home function is going to process an integer. Amount is an integer. There it is. We're sending it to the go home function. We're going to go home. So in the definition of this function, remember, go home, when it's called, go home wakes up, it doesn't see the word amount, it just sees the value that's being sent to it. It just sees a value. For example, 700. So it says, I see the value, I'm going to give it a name. What should we call it? We could call it amount. Doesn't matter what you call it. Let's call it gold. And it says system.out.print. We came home with only Now, let's run this program and see if it works. Oh, party time. So they must have, there's 1,000 yo-ho-hos. They did it. Let's run the program again. Oh, they did it. They did it again. Oh, they did it again. Oh, it's always party time. They always manage to make more than 1,000. So let's change the logic to force it to be less than 1,000. Let's say for each trip, they only ever manage to get between 0 and 200. Let's see if they still have a party. Oh, we came home with only 295, 529, 492, 317, 640. Wow, they're never making it, are they? They're never oh, they got close, 950. Ah, unlucky pirates. You're rubbish. Now the main takeaway from today's tutorial is in our main driver function, we just started a journey. In the journey, we attacked 5 ships. We looked at the amount of gold that we got from those 5 attacks. If we didn't get enough, we attacked another ship and we sent on that attack what we currently got. The attack one more ship function woke up when we called it. It saw the value coming. Wow, you're giving me some data. I'm going to give it a name. It got some more gold. It updated the amount, and then it went through some more logic. Okay? If it had a party, it had the party. Otherwise, it went home and it showed everyone the amount that it achieved. Okay? So this function, when it was called, it woke up. It said, whoa, I see some data coming. I need to give it a name. So it gave it a name, and then it processed the data. And that is an introduction to parameters.